6 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The National Security Committee at its meeting in Islamabad today discussed national security in the wake of the cluster bomb attack by the Indian forces in the Neelam Valley. The Prime Minister has warned that recent surge in Indian aggression has the potential to blow up into regional crisis. The Foreign Minister and the OIC Secretary General today discussed the deteriorating situation in occupied Kashmir. In occupied Kashmir, the Indian forces have martyred 7 more youths in fresh acts of state terrorism. Police Martyrs' Day is being observed across the country today to pay homage to the sacrifices of the police force for establishing peace. The United States has called for political solution of the Syrian conflict, saying there is no military solution to it. And now the news in detail. The National Security Committee at its meeting in Islamabad today discussed national security in the wake of the cluster bomb attack by the Indian forces in the Neelam Valley. Prime Minister Imran Khan chaired the meeting. The meeting was convened after the use of cluster munitions by India in a cross-line of control attack in the Neelam Valley, Azad Kashmir. The Defense Minister, the Foreign Minister, Interior Minister, Minister for Kashmir Affairs, the Chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee, the Chief of the Army Staff, the Naval Chief, the Air Chief, Prime Minister Azad Jammu and Kashmir, Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Information, Foreign Secretary, Director General ISI, and other senior officials attended the meeting. Prime Minister Imran Khan has condemned India's attack across the line of control on innocent civilians and its use of cluster munitions. In a tweet today, he said the use of cluster bombs is a violation of international humanitarian law and India's own commitments under the 1983 Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons. The Prime Minister said the recent surge in Indian aggression across the line of control has the potential to blow up into a regional crisis. He urged the United Nations Security Council to take notice of this international threat to peace and security. He said the American President Donald Trump offered to mediate on Kashmir, and this is the time to do so as the situation is deteriorating in occupied Kashmir and along the line of control, with new aggressive actions being taken by the Indian occupation forces. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says the whole world is concerned at the alarming situation in occupied Kashmir. Chairing an emergency consultative meeting at the Foreign Office in Islamabad today, he said the Indian designs are an attempt to disrupt regional peace. The Foreign Minister urged the international community and the world human rights watchdogs to take immediate notice of the serious situation in occupied Kashmir and along the line of control. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi made a telephonic contact with the OIC Secretary General Dr. Yusuf bin Ahmad Al Usaimin and discussed the increasing Indian aggression in Kashmir with him. The Foreign Minister informed him that brutal use of power against innocent Kashmiris by India is condemnable. He said India is violating the international laws by subjecting Kashmiris to serious human rights violations. He apprised the OIC Secretary General that orders to Hindu Yatris and foreign tourists to leave occupied Kashmir are further adding to the concern. Shah Mahmood Qureshi asked the OIC to take notice of this serious situation. Dr. Yusuf bin Ahmad Al Usaimin assured the Foreign Minister of taking notice of the situation and providing all-out cooperation in this regard. Meanwhile, talking to the Azad Jammu Kashmir Prime Minister Raja Farooq Haider Khan in Islamabad today, the Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi said India neither considers third-party arbitration on Kashmir issue nor is ready for bilateral talks. He showed serious concern on sending more than 28,000 troops to occupied Kashmir and expelling foreign tourists from the area. In occupied Kashmir, the Indian forces have martyred 7 more youths in fresh incidents of state terrorism in Kupwara district today. The Indian Army's Srinagar-based spokesman Colonel Rajesh Kalia, in a media interview, said the youths were killed in Karan area of the district. Meanwhile, the recovery of 2 more dead bodies and the debris of a house collapsed during coordinated search operation in Pandoshan area of Shupanya. The death toll mounted to 4 in the village. A human rights group based in Srinagar, Voice of Victims, sought the intervention of the United Nations and the heads of Western and Muslim countries in the wake of a new wave of state terrorism unleashed by India in the occupied territory. Prime Minister Imran Khan will inaugurate the monsoon plantation campaign in Islamabad tomorrow. This was stated by the advisor to the Prime Minister on climate change, Malik Amin Aslam, while addressing a ceremony in connection with Clean and Green Pakistan movement in Rawalpindi today. He said planting of 10 billion trees will make the country greener and create a positive impact on the environment. The advisor said all environment-related world organizations have recognized this initiative and they will visit Pakistan soon to study and replicate the model at other places worldwide. This is Radio Pakistan. The Police Martyrs Day is being observed across the country today to pay tributes to sacrifices of the police force for establishing peace. The Martyrs Day is being observed for the 4th consecutive year on the death anniversary of late Commandant Frontier Constabulary Shahid Safwat Ghayur, who was martyred in a suicide attack on his vehicle on this day in 2010. In this connection, special functions are being held to honor the brave fighters of the nation and express solidarity with their families. In a message on the Police Martyrs Day, the President, Dr. Arif Alvi, said the whole nation is indebted to the martyrs who laid down their lives for the security of the country and the nation, paying rich tributes to unmatched sacrifices of the police officers and Jawans. He said despite difficult situation and limited resources, the police has played an exemplary role in establishing peace and protecting the lives of the people. The Chief of the Army Staff, General Qamar Javed Bajwa, says Pakistani police has made phenomenal contributions alongside other security forces in counter-terrorism operations. In a tweet by the Director General ISPR, the Army Chief said, police over the years has proved to be a strong professional force. General Qamar Javed Bajwa said he salutes the martyrs of the police and their families on the Police Martyrs Day. 4 Army personnel, including an officer, drowned in River Indus in district Upper Kohistan today. According to the police, the incident occurred near Dasu when an Army ambulance plunged into River Indus. The ambulance was part of Army's convoy heading towards Gilgit. Police rescue and Army teams are engaged in the search operation. In Afghanistan, 3 government troops and 5 Taliban have been killed in a clash in Takhar province. Spokesman of the provincial police, Abdul Khalil Asir, said the clash took place when the Taliban attacked a border force camp in Cha'ab district. He said 3 border forces and 5 militants were also wounded in the clash. The United States has welcomed a conditional ceasefire by the Syrian government in Idlib region to allow Turkey to implement a buffer zone in the area. In a statement, the American State Department spokeswoman Morgan Ortagus said Washington believes that there can be no military solution to the Syrian conflict and only a political solution can ensure a stable and secure future for all Syrians. She said attacks against civilians and civilian infrastructure must stop. The spokeswoman also reiterated American support for a UN-led peace effort, calling it the only viable path to a political solution. In the United States, at least 9 people have been killed and 16 injured in a shooting in Ohio State today. According to the police, the suspected gunman was also killed at the scene. The injured have been taken to the local Miami Valley Hospital. And finally, the weather. Mainly hot and humid weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain, wind, thunderstorm is expected at isolated places in Hazara, Rawalpindi, Lahore, Gujranwala, Sargodha, Faisalabad, Multan, Dera Ghazi Khan, Bahawalpur, Kalat divisions, Islamabad, Gilgit-Baltistan, and Kashmir. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.